As you prepare to align with your highest destiny, this Leo Aquarian full moon energy may have you roaring at the moon. So stay tuned because I'm going to show you 3 doorways towards liberation and 4 ways to navigate your decisions as you go through the portal. Hello, fellow flames. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you for all the love and the support that you provide here on my channel, and make sure that if you're not already subscribed, to get subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you know when all my videos come live, so they can help support you through this impactful journey that we're experiencing that's very intense right now. Before I jump into the energy portion of the overview of the energy, and before I share with you ways that you can use this energy to help you choose the doorways that's going to take you through this doorway of liberation, which is what this full moon is all about, I just want to take a moment to dedicate this video to my beloved Champ. And he's actually down here sleeping right now, but his birthday is on this full moon. And he has been my soul partner in crime. I am Leo, and hear me roar, and he is Aquarius. So we kind of come here as a partner team that we're always working this ascension journey together. We really are that connected on such a very deep level. So in honor of Champ's birthday, I also want to offer you a copy of Twin Flame Codebreaker for free, and I'll put a link up here and also below so that you can make sure that you get plugged in and get an opportunity to get a free copy of the book. And it will go on sale for free starting at midnight Pacific Standard Time on the 27th to midnight Pacific Standard Time on the 28th for a full 24 hours to get a copy for free. And it's also in English version and in Spanish version. And in addition to that, I'm going to put a link below because Champ has his own mission, his own foundation, and his own message that I have been bringing through for him since he was born. And there's a book coming that I'm writing with him that's Life of a Champ, 8 Tricks for Happier Humans. And he has a nonprofit organization that I basically manage for him. He has his own mission involved in this. He went around the world before I did. And so I want you to, if you don't mind, check out in honor of him and how he helps me show up here to do what I do. And I'll have a link below to the organization, the nonprofit organization. And also that's one of the things, I haven't mentioned this in a while, but any donations for basically my videos I do here are donated to Champ's organization and his mission. So if you feel like supporting that in honor of his birthday, I would really appreciate it. So I just feel like that, we're coming here kind of as this rainbow warrior team with the goddess and that warrior energy that's bringing and harmonizing the bridgeway from our past to our future. And that's really what this doorway kind of liberation represents, the rainbow bridge here. And the rainbow bridge of how we're transitioning, of letting go of who we've been into who we're becoming. And it's about, letting go of who we've been, as I said, and loving who we are and embracing who we're becoming. And so this energy of this axis that's merging between the Aquarian energy and the Leo energy is creating a neutrality point on a collective, and I should even say a universal scale that is basically having you on one end to go inward, and I'm calling it, I'm going into my den, okay? And I'm really diving deep as I ever have. But on the end of where, say, we've done that before to clear karma, this time it's this inner preparation to come out. So that's how these contrasting energies are coming, because Aquarius is like going out, being pulled out, going further out in a bigger, more expanded way. And so you may be feeling like you want to be in right now. And that is actually perfectly fine, because what you're doing is you're preparing everything you need within your heart. So when I say go in, it's kind of like going into your heart space here. You know, Leo is all about the heart. And so it's going into the heart and really kind of coming into this connection of your heart in a way of, what do I desire? What do I want? And like where I might be feeling more purpose and like a desire to connect to my mission, like I'm getting prepared to know what that is, but not from a place of what is it, but why do I need to do it? And how can I connect to it in a way that I realize that I am it, and that I am a version of love, and that it's not about finding love, it's knowing that I am love. And then that's going to like program your hara, your energetic field, into like the highest version of who you are in your destiny, of that love vibration or above, that's going to put you in alignment with your highest destiny as you go forward. So what we have going on right now is a lot of polarized energy in the collective. And what like part of this is actually helping on the collective of everything I said, but what really is happening in this neutrality of this axis that I have talking about, from the harmony of inside the heart to the collective universal heart oneness that we're creating here. And then the bridge in between that creates a bandwidth. And in the bandwidth, like everything's going to exist. And what you got to realize is that this is happening to create this split of like pulling up what's not been working, pulling up the depths of this, bringing it to the light to heal it. And so in order to do that, everything's going to exist in this timeline. And so when you come from a place of love, when there's a lot of hate and chaos and confusion out there right now, you have to be really careful in discerning what you're taking on for people, what you're being an empath, and where you're putting your attention and your energy. And so these doorways and these choices and the direction you make for your personal path is your choice and your reality. And into the bandwidth of all of the confusion to the clarity that's going to exist within that, you're going to get to choose where you want to land in this, in your own reality, because this polarized energy is going to basically be in effect for about another 4 to 5 years. And so in that, what we need to do is, yes, maybe be aware of some of the bigger picture stuff, but the way we're going to change it is coming within and find this doorway to the liberation of our heart, like a liberated heart. And that's how you're going to change this, is you becoming what it is you came here to do and become liberated inside and in your life. And we collectively do that and we change all of that. But in the process of that, that is also how we, as every individual part on this bandwidth, are being able to transform, change, shift, break down the structures and the templates of the old programs and rebuild new ones at the same time. So like these things of what I'm saying about creating and what you came here to do with your purpose and what you came here to do with your mission is needing to come out to rebuild and rebirth the new earth and the new way that's going forward, that's changing history and humanity, that will be shifting from that old paradigm to the new paradigm through up to about 2025. So it's going to be a ride, and therefore you need to really pay attention to where you're choosing to live in this world right now. So what is super cool is that the universe is coming in to hand us the keys to these doors and to give us the opportunity in our free will to choose what we want to bring into this earth based on our heart's desires personally and based on our soul contracts of what we came here to do. And in that process, the universe is now supporting us. So we don't have to live in that chaos. We don't have to live in the darkness. We don't have to live in the confusion. We can make the choice to choose the clarity and to choose the high frequency and to choose the love. And in doing so, you're supported with the highest vibrational frequency. Now, let's just say everybody's getting it. Everybody's getting an upgrade of the highest platinum light that's taken our rainbow diamond light we've been getting for the last several years, mixing that with the unified heart of the golden heart that it takes to come into balance between your resistance and surrender and trusting the process, and bringing those things together in alignment within all of your thoughts, feelings, and your actions, that is creating this platinum wholeness, completeness of all that is, okay? So we've been collecting our parts, our fragments, becoming whole, and now we're becoming into this universal oneness. And in doing that, now we're looking at platinum energy. And the platinum energy is the stellar light that's the strongest frequency. And this frequency I'm talking about really, I mean, it's been coming anyway, but it really hit home on December 21st. And like, we've been going through the portal, and like this pivot of this full moon, why it's so impactful, is the doorway through where you've been to where you're going. And it's going to be blind faith, and you're not going to know exactly what's on the other side, but that's okay. You have inside of you what you need. And this also means there's going to be deaths of cycles, experiences, and things going on around you, and things that are going to test you to be able for you to do some of the things that I'm going to teach you now. So now let's talk about those 3 ways to discern your direction. And in that process, the first one is being able to choose your frequency. And one of the things, kind of like looking at the outward part of that, I said, in that bigger picture and that collective energy, you may not be able to choose what's going on in the world, or have, I should say, you don't have any control of what is going on in the world. But you do have control of yourself, and mainly your choices, and choosing your timeline within this frequency of energy that's coming through. So the bandwidth I mentioned is a frequency of energy that is from a low vibration to the stellar vibration. So really kind of hell to heaven. And it really is like that right now, because that is how much contrast we have in the opposite things that's presenting itself, because everything is in polarity and equal to. And so it's helping you to go within in this energy to create more of a sense of self, so that you can learn more about what is your values, what is that you desire, creating more awareness about your relationship, not only with yourself, but, you know, and other people, and like your twin. But it's really going deep within in this value system into your root chakra, and looking at the roots of your bloodline, and the roots of like where you're at now. And like a lot of people I'm seeing are having this connection to a desire to feel more safety, more secure, and more ability to find peace where they are without this feeling of, how do I survive? Like the survival mode, you know? Like, so your root chakra is all about survival. So it's kind of like in this energy, it's putting in this position to kind of look at, how do I survive this? Okay. And a big one that's coming up, I'm seeing a lot of clients, myself included, is going to the next level with some financial things, so that we can rebuild that financial structure, and you know, looking at from a peace of mind and strength and stability with, you know, an economical system that's kind of being blown apart right now. How do we find the serenity and the security and the peace in that? And so, you know, speaking of that, you know, that also means that, you know, money is energy. And so when I talk about relationship with these things, it could even be your relationship with money in this case. So the key, going back to these choices and discerning, is to realize, while you don't have the control over what's going on around you, you have control over what frequency you want to operate at. And the way you do that is know that all your thoughts, all your feelings, and all your actions, and all your connections to that have a specific frequency attached to that. So when I say choose your frequency, you get to choose if you're going to focus on the low vibrational things, or if you're going to jump timelines and choose to put your attention on the highest frequencies and make your thoughts of the highest, make your emotions of the highest. So if you talked about some ways to overcome this twin flame pain as you're going through this journey, and if you're trying to jump that timeline from the pain into turning that into a purpose and fulfillment, make sure you have a link somewhere either up here or down in the description for that video, because it will really give you some tips to help you overcome the pain, or I should even say transform that pain into a purpose. And that's what we're really doing in making these choices, is transforming the energy of these frequencies from low vibrational frequencies to higher. You get to choose that. You're the creator of this. And what do you want to be? Because you're a vibration, you're an energy. Where do you want to be? And what's really important in this discernment is to be able to see which frequency that you operate from, and be able to know. And I'm going to share with you 3 ways to kind of like, 4 ways to help you navigate this in these 3 doorways in a minute. But it's really about discerning the difference in what frequency is your highest frequency. So the second doorway that you get to choose is your experience. How we go about and navigate this process of going through the frequencies and getting there, and the ways that we navigate it and the experiences that we gain out of it. What in that process, we get to choose how we experience the journey. And, I've always say this, 2 people can go on the same trip, the same exact everything, and even be together. And one said they had a great experience, the best of their time, and the other says it was the worst. So you want to make sure that you're like basically looking at the highest perspective in this, realizing that you have control over this. Stop giving your power away into that it takes your twin to get these things done. Stop giving your power away to this collective energy that I can't do XYZ because of everything going on. You get to choose where you're at. And one of the things that I am teaching clients to do right now is that, because we're coming into this energy of the heart, and because like we're needing to have more desire and fulfillment and joy out of this, we need to go in and choose things and actually put our attention into things that's going to create the joy. And how you do that is, choose to participate in things that become more fun, childlike play, more centered to the heart, more things. And this is what it's going to do is help you balance your battle that's between your head and your heart. So you can begin to, in that timeline of going up in your frequency you're choosing, you're shifting from mental aspects into the heart aspects. And while doing that in the experience itself will strip you of the old identity. That's very painful. But as it's stripping away all the things that no longer serve you, or who you are, or what you're to do going forward, then what you need to do in the transforming of that is to be able to see that these things are happening for you, not to you. And another thing that you can do based on importance of being able to amplify your intention of that. And that's going to be part of what I'm going to talk about in a minute, of how you can really discern these doors, is that you can program yourself with these frequencies of higher vibration through intention. You have that much power over what's happening here that you don't realize, and you're giving your power away to everything outside of you. And I'm going to tell you, I'll go more into that in a minute, but just know you can program your field of intent with intention of your entire being. And that in itself will raise this frequency that will help to raise the perception and help you to be able to let go of your story and who you've been, so you can begin to learn how to look at your experiences with love and to choose how you do it. Now, one of the things I'm doing with that is I have a lot of really impactful things coming up, and a lot of deep things, and a lot of transformation. And I have to be very careful and discern at this point, not from a place of hiding truth or anything, but people can project onto us, or we can take on their own fear. And so it's kind of like being careful about what you talk about, because if you're in a field of intention from other people that have no clue, and you're here and they're here in this frequency, and you see it this way and they see it that way, their fear that they're facing in it, they're going to share it with you. I've had people do this. They're sharing with me like, oh, like, no, like that would be like horrible. And I know somebody did this and that. And I even said to somebody this last week, that's why I'm being very careful about who I choose to talk to about this, because she asked me about it. And then she said that when I was talking. And then I said, this is exactly why I'm choosing to talk. Be careful who I speak to with it, because I'm not going to let your fear be the stopping point of me doing something that might be to my best benefit, and that I know and feel it will be. And therefore, just because you experience that with somebody else's fear and you're not going to do it because they're fearful of it, or you saw their experience with it, then I get to choose a different experience, and I don't have to live in that place of fear. I know that I can change my reality through that, and that it's my choice to choose that experience. So that leads us to the third doorway of choosing your reality. And basically, when you can know that you have the power inside of you, and especially that this energy is taking you in to find that sense of self, and you start to choose your frequency, and you begin to choose your control over your experience, not comparing it to being the same as someone else's, then you are choosing your reality. Because what you create on the inside is what you're going to experience on the outside. And so this is creating the unity between your inner being and your outer world. And it's pulling those two together, which is how we're taking the polarities of this big energy collectively and pulling both sides together. So this then is really, especially with Leo energy, is creating a sense of creativity. And part of the creativity is coming because we got these missions to birth and this purpose that wants to come out from the inner side to the outer side to be shared. So this energy, this Leo, this courageous and confident energy is coming in to support your creativity. But you got to tap into the play and the fun about it. You know, I did this myself this week, and this happens with clients all the time. So what it is okay, I want to create. What is it going to be? Let's get it done, and tell me what to do. We're going on. Like, tell me the formula. We're going to do it. And so, you know, I always tell clients that, like, when you don't have to ask and figure out how, you've gotten into the place of being open to allow this to come in, because it's not your how, it's your why. And it's about trusting the process and kind of getting out of the way. So I've been working with my own healer and doing some really deep work that I've been on in this last week with this whole thing coming up for my own personal self. And we came to the heart of some things that like needed to kind of happen or transpire to take me to the more of a depth in order to be able to make the outcome to achieve what we were looking at, the intention of that being. And so I said to her, I said, okay, so then that means in order for that to happen, then we need to kind of like do this at a certain time and day. And the reason being is because it needed to be more secluded than in like an environment of more things going on. And she's like, well, then that means we're taking control of it and we're not trusting it. We're not allowing it to like unfold when it needs to happen on its own without manipulating how it's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, you know, I get it, because it's what I tell people too. So we're becoming the leaders of our own life, the leaders of love. And like, so our crown chakras is opening in this for the connection to our consciousness and our awareness. But this is creating an opening of our sacral chakra for this creation. And so you're going to probably want to do some clearing of the sacral chakra so that you're able to like think of it as a cauldron, and you're kind of stirring that pot, and you know, you're really able to know, like, get in there and do what it takes to get this energy stirred up to connect to more purpose. And if you'd like to do that, like stir your cauldron, I have a 30-day Unlock Your Passion project. I'll have a link below. Okay, get plugged into that, and that will really help you over the next 30 days learn to understand more of what you want to create and how you can do it and how you connect to it with your heart. So now that we have a big overall picture of this big energy that's coming through that will have you roaring at the moon, and we have talked about the 3 doorways to liberation that this portal of energy is helping you do to come into, you know, this ultimate freedom and having a liberated heart and life and soul and sovereign being. Let's talk about the 4 ways that you can navigate the process of discerning your direction through that process. And the first thing is instinct. Okay, this is that Leo, that inner power coming from primal power. Okay, and that primal power, think of this as this inner innate, unlocked, like hidden, locked away instinct, power inside of you that you have not tapped into. This moon is going to help you tap into that, unlock that, connect to that primal instinct. And a primal instinct is really your own knowing of your connection to your source energy. You disconnect from source through all these other interferences and giving your power away to outside of you. And when you call back that power inside of you and realize you're the creator, and what do you want to create? You're connecting to your own primal possibilities and potential that will make you and allow you to own that power. And the more you own your value in this, you own your power in this, the more it amplifies and makes you even more powerful. So basically, you really need to own your value, own your truth. And the more you own that, it will make you like 1,000 times more powerful. And so these inner innate instincts are things that are making you right now in that sense of security and protection and stability and strength. This is where I was saying the root chakra. Connecting to the root, connecting to the earth, and connecting to the source of that through your hara, which your hara begins to be your field of golden light, platinum light, that is linked directly to you in source. And choosing your frequency is choosing to get into this alignment of this hara energy. And so your innate ability to know what your direction is number one. So the second way you navigate and discern this energy to choose your direction through these doorways of liberation is your intuition. Now your innate ability is to basically know that, to know that it exists. But your intuition is really the experiences that you've had that determine your level of trust and trusting the process towards your knowing. Okay? It's very deep. Your instincts are your knowing, and your intuition is your ability to navigate, believe, and trust in your knowing. You need both of these. And this is where I think some people are getting split and talk about intuition and all these things. You really, I'm really being shown to kind of break this down to see how much power is inside of you. And you don't have to go outside of you to seek all of these things. You might need it to gain the trust, okay, and the confirmation. And it's okay sometimes to say I'm going to do that from the feminine way, then trying to figure this all out by myself and I'm going to stay alone in it. But you really got to know that that's all inside of you. And so pulling that power back and taking your knowledge and your wisdom and realizing that you are basically the one in charge here. So the third one is your insight. And your insight is when you begin to connect to that inner wisdom and you begin to trust it, then it puts you into this 1,000 times more powerful being that amplifies your insight to being able to see the truth from a level of the highest frequency that allows you to then be able to see which one is your highest choice, to see which way you're to be at the highest level. You can't see it without, going through this process, I'm saying. So now that you're able to see that from a higher place through this connection to the instincts and your belief of that intuition, it will amplify you automatically and you get to make the choice of choosing that highest frequency now. So the fourth way to discern your direction through these doorways to liberation is for you to set intention. And in the intention, what I really want you to really understand what intention means. So intention is like what we think of as a desire or an outcome or a goal. But the underlying component of an intention is really the healing process of the wound that you're healing and transforming from the fear to the freedom in this. Now, I looked this up, and part of the definition of intention is the process to heal your wound. Okay? And so if it's the process to heal your wound, then reprogramming your intentional field between this source energy and this cord of this platinum cord that's going to your highest timeline of the highest frequency, then through your intention of what it is that you need to heal, transform, and from that wound to what is it you desire. So you need to get really clear. I've been saying this for a long time. What is it you desire? But also, what is the wound? And in that, the best way to do it is not focus on the wound from a problem. More set the intention that you're choosing that higher timeline, that higher frequency, that higher experience, and that perception of your highest destiny, that's your highest good, and program through the field of intention what it is you desire from your heart. And in that, you don't have to figure out how. And that's as human, you try to figure out how. But you need to just program your field. And you can do that through intention of setting the thought and the frequency to becoming a feeling, and just programming into seeing yourself connected to the source through this platinum cord, and then programming that cord through source to bring in the highest frequency. And then imagine that frequency coming in through that hara, that cord, being like this feeling. The word here is, it's a vibration, I feel, but like it's infusing, it's filling up your being, and it feels like, even though it's one cord, it can, in my vision I'm having right now, I can see it being multidimensional into every field of your being and your body, going into the DNA of your light body, reprogramming that, rewiring it, going into the meridians within your body, going into the mucous membranes, going into the organs, going into the body, going into the field of thought, going into the emotional component, to heal, the process of healing all of these things inside of you, that through the field of intention of what it is you desire, from what feels better and good. Because so many people are like, if you get to choose, so many people are starting to feel more in this realm, or this, where we're at in this spiritual enlightened community. But in that is also these ranges of frequency. And so set your intention to the highest version of what feels good, and don't worry about what it is or how to get there. Just tap into that, and then set the intention that you're in your connection to the source energy, and then imagine yourself pulling that in, through, and around you, and all those things I said. And now you're embodying that, you're integrating with that, and you're setting that frequency into the intention of everything inside of you. And you don't have to know what any of it is, but because you have that intention, you just created it inside of you. Okay? It's that powerful, and it will put you light years ahead. So let me know how it works for you if you've done that. Make sure to let me know how the synergy is impacting you. I just want to thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Let me know your thoughts, comments, what you are going through during this timeline, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.